Hi there. Welcome to the SparrowCast series where we help you connect the dots. Take home the best ideas from industry experts and thought leaders right here on SparrowCast by Survey Sparrow. Today we have with us Irit Eizips, Chief Customer Officer and CEO at CSM Practice. She has been recognized as one of the top 100 customer success strategists since 2013. An expert in helping companies scale customer success operations, she also offers research, strategy, and technology services. She was previously head of solutions consulting at Gainsight, a customer success management platform. Welcome to the show, Irit. Super excited to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
So, today, Irit will educate us on how to leverage NPS to build your advocacy. Be sure to take notes and try out these approaches to gather advocacy from NPS. Over to you, Irit.
Hi, yeah, I'm super excited to be here. Today, I'm going to share specifically how to use NPS for advocacy for B2B companies, specifically if you have a SaaS subscription model. And we specialize in customer success, so most of our advice would be targeted to customer success teams. So just bear that in mind as you're listening to some of this tactical advice and tips. Customer success teams think about how to build the advocacy program. Obviously, NPS survey is something that we wholeheartedly recommend having as part of the overall strategy. Here's why. Sometimes you have customers that have thousands of users. Sometimes you have customers that you only really work with 3 or 4 of them. And so we believe that when you do NPS surveys, you are able to identify which one of them is more likely to be a promoter for you. And they might not, this might not come up with in a regular conversation. Also, what we find is that when you have a broad customer base where a lot of the customers are smaller, you might not have that same touch point as you do with the larger ones. And so for those customers, having a consistent NPS programs will allow you to touch base with those customers and find out whether or not they're an advocate for you in a more consistent manner. And I like the way that some companies, specifically Intuitive, likes to think about it, is advocacies really should be looked at as a pipeline where you continuously nurture customers into becoming an advocate. But the point that they do, that turning point, is really well found out through an NPS survey. The NPS survey is helpful in determining who are your advocates by looking at who responded as a promoter. And then I think where companies sometimes, not take full advantage of NPS surveys is by having the NPS survey, analyzing for results, and then not having a consistent playbook with a clear, what we call RACI chart, which really says who should be doing what when and where's the escalation point. So where we start tightening up the NPS program is where we have a very well-defined and sometimes fully automated call to action when we identify a promoter. If it's a very highly strategic account where you most likely already have a tight relationship with those key contacts, you want to have a touch point that's less automated and more personal. You'll have the customer success manager or the marketing manager actually reach out and call the customer or the user that has actually been identified as a promoter. And this is exactly where, very relevant, where you have the survey being sent to the stakeholders that you are in constant contact with, not when you have a big account with thousands of users that don't really know the CSM. So if you already have a relationship with a contact, have the person that has the relationship reach out to that contact. Whereas when you have smaller accounts and you don't have a dedicated CSM, meaning customer success manager, it really doesn't necessarily make sense for someone to reach out personally. So in those cases, we'd rather have a sequence email sent up with some suggestions on, if you are an advocate, what should you do next? Here's a community, online community that you can go to and discuss our product. Here's a link to G2 Crowd or Forecaster, so you could Forrester, so you could send some reviews or write some reviews for us, etc. So you could just like really make some suggestions and what they can do in order to help others really understand why you're so happy with this with this service or solution, and take it to the next level. Yeah, maybe it's something I didn't talk about, but we do want to have when you kind of pick and choose a solution to do your NPS surveys, you definitely want a solution that can give you the analytics you need. And so the more robust analytics, the better. One of the areas that we recommend analyzing is, okay, let's suppose I had X numbers of promoters identified. What was the call to action per the customer segment? Like we said, if it's a strategic customer, we actually want someone from the team that has the relationship with the customer follow up with them. Where companies sometimes fail is maybe there's a general guideline that they should go ahead and reach out, but there's no consistent way to actually say, did they actually reach out? And if they did reach out, did the customer take any action to become an advocate? And so doing the complete follow-up on calls to action after a promoter score has been received, I find is extremely important for the program to be effective.
Thank you so much, Irit. That was insightful. I'm sure our audience felt likewise. Let me sum up the key takeaways from our session with Irit here today. When you do NPS surveys, it will help you identify which are the customers most likely to be a promoter. NPS specifically helps companies who have a lot of customers, since you cannot talk to each one of them at all times. Create a consistent playbook for each type of respondents and have someone in the organization responsible for it and track it. Always close the loop and make it personal. Once again, thank you for your time, Irit, and thank you for sharing your insights.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
And before you leave, we have one final question for our guests. Did you have an opportunity to participate in any of the Sparrow surveys?
Oh yeah, I did.
Awesome. Could you share your experience with us?
Oh, it was awesome. What I really liked is how you could, like, one of the questions actually had each response connected with a GIF. And I thought it was like the experience of it was so much more delightful, just to picking the GIF that, resonated with me. It actually made me smile. And I thought that was so much better than these dry answers we sometimes have to pick as a survey. It actually made the whole experience so much better. So kudos to you.
I'm glad you enjoyed the survey. Thank you for your kind words. That keeps us going. Thanks again, Irit, and we shall see you guys again in the next SparrowCast. Fly along with us.